special guest with us here today on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Oh, baby's your ticket to flight here in the great. What is it? Is it daylight? Is it sunrise? Are we barely starting to wake up? I think the alarm clock ain't even gone off yet. You guys aren't awake, but listen in anyway, babies. Here's RYNA Shah, and she's got really something to say, babies. You know, this lady is a well-known, well, what would you call yourself? Spiritual, intuitive, guide, helper, teacher, sound healer. I mean, you know, she's has a big following, very well known across this whole Turtle Island, and hails from up there in the northern country, like our good friend Kinky. Kinky. Well, most of the chicks up there are kinky, aren't they? Don't you find that up in Ontario?
I wouldn't know that.
So tell me, how was it that you got started on this path? That's what we usually start with most folks, is just warm it up a little bit. Tell us, was there a significant moment in your life where you just turned, or did this just come to you a little here, a little there, or how did this happen, baby?
I was born this way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. From the moment that I arrived here on this sweet old earth, I was awake and listening and hearing and realizing many things about the development of consciousness and humanity and where we're at on this developmental plane of evolution and creation.
Sound like a shoe-in to me. You know?
I think when I was 8, I had my first near-death experience. And I was very, very sick, and I left my body for 8 minutes and came back. That really heightened my gifts and who I am. And
that's an early start, 8, yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And then
I had something similar. I drowned at 7.
Wow. That's powerful.
Back, yeah.
Yeah. And then I had another near-death experience when I was in my late 20s. And another one at 33, and then another one at 35.
Wow. Yeah, you got a nice little list there built up. Yeah. Were they all illness, or were they accidents, or just a combination of things?
It's been health has probably been my biggest challenge here. And I'm in a much better space than I've ever been in my life, but certainly with gifts and sensitivity, sometimes there's a counterbalance that goes along with that.
Yeah, tell me about it. we have a similar path, darling, we do.
Yeah. So, my parents, I'm the youngest of 8 children, and my parents were very sensitive to who I was and respected and honored me, which is pretty unusual in most people's stories.
Yeah, it is.
There's usually some kind of turmoil in the family position, but I've been very blessed that way. I would say probably my greatest challenge would be in regular 9-to-5 day-to-day living for most people. I've just always been super sensitive to environments, atmospheres, places.
Yeah. So difficult for you to be in like the workaday world. You really can't do it.
I haven't. I did work in different environments, but I just would end up getting very sick. So I spent a lot of time in quiet contemplation and doing my music and my art, and
managed to make a living out of that, huh?
I've been very, very blessed, and have been working with clients and as a teacher for about 30 years now. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what's happening now? Are you like in the vibe where the whole tribe is, and we're about ready to coast it right in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's prophecies about all end times and destruction and all of that, and there's always a possibility for that to occur, but there's a greater possibility for something much more profound, beautiful, and graceful to take place, and that's my focus.
Yeah, well, most of those prophecies, the old ones, people don't realize that they're fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And we're ready. We're right on the, at least in my humble opinion, we're right on the edge, you know. We work on it all the time here on the Medicine Show.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Tell us a little more about what you do now, as far as you say you work with clients and so forth. Well, you just basically kind of a life coach, essentially.
It's more spiritual development, embodiment of someone's higher gifts or spiritual gifts. Also working with individuals who are going through ascension processes. They're experiencing all kinds of life challenges and difficulties, being able to expand their whole being.
Yeah.
I also have a set of clients who are business as well, and developing conscious ways in order to collaborate, co-create together.
Cool. That certainly is an area where it's desperately needed.
Yeah.
Those guys have been living without a heart for so long. And they think they're all right. They think they're doing just hunky-dory, and when they're really just tearing the whole world apart.
Yeah.
Not even noticing.
Yeah. The other thing that I do is the media projects. I gave you my DVD, and that's including my sacred geometry art and the music and the teachings. And so what I do is I go around and I give what's called like Dharma talks or speaking. I guess it's like flowing speaking, Dharma experiences for people, and then I'll bring forth sound or transmission to help go whatever anything's going on in the room, or I like to call it the spirit of the space or the intention that's happening in the space in which I'm in. And then mix that with media and music and concerts and gosh, you name it. It's a lot of fun.
Sound like you have a good life, darling.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm very, like I said, I feel very, very blessed.
Wow. For all the challenges you've had, that's pretty awesome, baby.
Well, I mean, it was, prior to getting to this place here, it was 5 days of serious altitude sickness.
Wow.
I was on oxygen an hour every day or more just to be able to adjust. So I really had a lot of challenges.
Well, here you are at 9,000 feet, doing just fine. Huh?
Well, yeah, I think it has something to do with the spirit of the place. It's very, very beautiful here.
Yeah, you noticed that then. You wouldn't believe the number of people we get to come into this area that are taken by this energy. Also, there's a bunch of them that are run off by it, too. They just can't stand it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to leave here.
Yeah, well, I don't think you guys really are. I mean, I reckon you will, but I reckon your reality is going to keep you here. Because it's just one of those kind of places. And right now, to be quite honest with you, it's like family reunion here. And so a lot of people are coming here that don't know anybody here and don't know anything about the place. They're just showing up and wondering how the hell they got here. But it's family, baby.
Yeah, I tell you, been coming to Colorado for 4 years. Got invited 3 times in 2011. And the 4th time I finally made it for the 11-11-11 in Denver and Boulder. And I've been feeling this place on my radar for a very, very long time. Yeah. And got messages, the age of the golden epoch that is unfolding on the planet will begin in the United States in a place called Colorado. And this was a very early age, and I didn't really have a lot of clue. I just knew I needed to be here at a certain time, and here I am. And just feeling, I mean, we arrived here, the day we arrived here was the super full moon, and someone literally from our neck of the woods, who we keep on running into, arrived here on the same day.
Wow, and that's
and just connecting with all these
sure
people.
That's not the British intelligence following you around?
Could very well be. Who knows?
Who cares? Huh?
Yeah, well, they can do what they want.
Exactly. Yeah. We're working on those little rascals too. Not just British intelligence, but the people that run things. They think they're immune. They're not. I have. I don't know how to describe it. Access. Therefore, I can help them,
I hear you.
And when I say it's very loose. It's just, how we all have a person and a specialty. That's kind of where mine is right now. It's putting the light and the dark together, really, Just rolling them up into one big old ball and making them be happy, just like the little yin and yang, only they meld. There's no more yin and yang. It's all young. That's where we're headed, at least in my humble opinion, is that, as I see it, is a complete meld Because that's not a reality. That's our illusion. As you well know, that's our illusion, but a very good and valuable one. Do you have experience like with the ETs? Of course you do, but I just, for the purposes of the interview.
Well, here, just in the last 3 nights, just experiencing visitations and lights in the sky and phenomenal.
The place is pretty highly energetic, isn't it? And very busy.
I received several messages, of which I posted on Facebook, the prayer.
Oh, that's beautiful, too.
Yeah, so...
And powerful, too.
Well, my intention is that words, if used in the appropriate manner, are like a sacred vapor from the divine. And when we make the word into that space of the highest and the deepest, and we breathe it in, we're taking in the divine essence and presence of all it is.
Yep. Kind of like out there laying under the sun and getting blasted with all those codes and unravelings and information and stuff. It's the same way with the word and the energy that you share. The words really are energy, and that's where the communication. It isn't here; it's there in the heart.
Absolutely.
And people here are starting to realize it and wake up to it. The old Coyote Medicine Show exists to lubricate the wheels of eternity and make sure everybody just keeps flowing in a good direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we do here. And we're very, very happy to have you here and feel your choice energy, your beautiful life, and to have you share with all these fine people out here that are, most of them are just starting to wake up, but they're having a damn good time doing it, you know. We old troopers that have been there, done that, kind of broke the trail. And stuff that we agonized on for years and years, they get it in 30 seconds. It's no fair. But it is. It's working right, and it's just going like a charm. And I think your energy here in Crestone, Colorado is very significant. You know, I know you're a big part of this family. I can see the family resemblance in your face besides your energy, you know. But in your face, they've got that. Have you noticed that there's common elements in those that are of a certain vibe? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just like your blood relatives. You look like blood relatives, but you're not. You come from different tribes entirely, you know. Yet you have similar features. Isn't that amazing?
We all find our way to where we need to be.
Yeah, we do. But by the heart.
Yes.
Many people resist, right?
Yes. Well, all of my work, So.
Nowadays, resistance is getting more and more difficult. You know, it's coming to that place where if heart says you better get up and move from Toronto and come to Crestone, well, I'd recommend you do it. Because it gets kind of silly if you don't. Because all of a sudden, there's no support there. All of a sudden, everything just falls apart. And you realize, wow, I should have done that. You know? It's
the key to everything that I abide within and who I am is listening.
Yeah.
And
heart,
it's always the heart. And it's one of my key understandings, and I'm just closing my eyes, it's easier for me to speak when I do this, is restoring spin. And understanding that the spin in the ratio of radiance of love is revealed when we understand the gift of who we are and we acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And when that opens, there's a field of grace that is hard to describe, but we feel it. It rises up like a deep felt sense. Mm-hmm. It's not sensation, because we know about sensations in the body. Yeah. But it's a deep felt sense of a reckoning, of a recognition. Mm-hmm. And it comes through the sense of beauty and the symmetry of how things all move so beautifully together in a natural way. It's a cooperative, collaborative experience. Yeah. And any concept of having to do anything in order to be anything, to have to choose. I mean, there's the concept of choice and all of that, and that's beautiful. But when you are naturally in that flowing rhythm, it's so effortless, it's so graceful, it's so simple and elegant how things naturally unfold and evolve. Yeah. And for me, I sense that. And in the space, the intention, and the place of beings. And when people come and sit with me, we just spend a lot of time just being and sometimes staring and sometimes just sitting.
Yeah.
And oftentimes what happens is people will just begin to open up and their field of awareness will open. The room will take on a quality of like a divine mist, and they'll palatably feel it and see it.
Yeah.
And as I open my light body, they begin to relax and open up their presence. And before you know it, they're just weeping.
Yeah.
Because that is our nature, to want to just be in that space, that relaxed, calm, open field of awareness.
I call it the baby that lives inside.
Yeah, the innocent one,
Yeah,
the sweet
the
one.
innocent one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who we bring home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I knew you'd be doing that kind of work. I mean, it just obviously would have to be happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause that's what we do here.
Yeah.
Waking everybody up. You know?
Yeah.
Nowadays, this is the one we've been waiting for. I promised them today, which is tomorrow on this interview because we're taping it in advance, but I promised them I would tell them the basic story of how we came back through time and unraveled all of these effects. We had to go to all these different points in time. We came from about 2500 AD, somewhere in that neighborhood, and we went back through time all the way. When we realized what we'd done and what we had to do to unravel it, because it took us that long to figure it out, then we came back in time. I remember being a young, when I was going through one of my moments there. I lived in Southern Oregon, and I went up on a mountain because a friend had told me about some UFOs he'd been watching, so I went up there to see. And sure as heck, 3 o'clock in the morning, they'd come scooting in over our heads, and they'd go down into this little valley, this little canyon down below us, and they'd blink out on their way. The light would blink out, but you'd just follow the trajectory with your eyes, and you'd see them blink back on down near the ground. Some kind of transition they went through, coming through the realms as I saw it. And then they would hover a little bit on the ground, a light would come on the side of the mountain, they'd slap into that and be gone, So later on I asked spirits, the angels, what the heck is that? And they said, oh, that's us coming back from the future to rescue ourselves, just in case things didn't go the way we anticipated. Yeah. And then not too long after that, another year or so, I forget just exactly what the timing was, but we got past that point, and the rescue was no longer needed. After that, 94 sometime, August of 94 in fact, right around this time of year, it was like all fell into place.
Yeah.
And wow. But that's what we've done, and so that's what I promised to tell people tomorrow, because it started coming up later in the show yesterday, so... Today and Friday we've got to tell. Friday's our free day here on the Coyote Medicine Show. And this is our Cut Her Loose week too. Cut it loose. Live in the heart. Don't take no bullshit. Don't take no agony, no pain. Just cut it loose. Be love. Be light. Just flow. That's what you do. You just glow. You just flow. And baby, it is so glad. I'm so glad to have you here and sharing what you practice, which is right in line with what we do here too. It's all family. It's all reconnecting and putting us back together and bringing us back into that good old heart that we seem to have abandoned so long ago, the baby that we have to put away when we're born and then confront the world, and the world says no, and so you go inside and hide.
I never did that.
And most folks, you're a very blessed person. Most folks do.
I know.
And they don't have a chance. It takes them a long, long time for it to come back out again.
Well,
what I mean?
I just want to say to anyone who is hidden still or veiled, is going through any kind of experience where it feels like a great challenge, even just to breathe.
Yeah.
Just to know that there are beings, some seen and unseen, some known and unknown, here supporting all of that.
Yeah.
And the lifting of the veil, it does require a little bit of an act of courage, but you are supported.
Yeah.
You're always taken care of, whether you know it or not. And one of the things that I really, really want everyone to know is that the return of the Divine Mother, or the Divine Feminine energy on this planet, the rebalancing of that, is one of the reasons why I chose to come here. I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I chose to.
Cool.
And that's a part of the sound, because the matrix, or mater, or mother, all means the same thing.
Yeah.
And when that womb of sound, or the vibration of her being opens, then I'm able to translate or bring that through. It is utterly the greatest joy of my service here.
Wow.
Is to be able to give that gift. And I've traveled around just the Crestone area, going into different temples and singing. And I've had the opportunity to sing for individuals here, to give them that, what I like to call the sound medicine.
Okay.
And I'd love to do that for you if you're open to it.
Oh, you bet. I'm going through that very process of equitizing those energies right now. I'm in process, so I'd appreciate it. I'm sure our audience would too. So you betcha, have at it.
Okay, so what is the intention of this space in this program right now? And I'm just tuning in and asking. So I'm hearing the cooling, calming waves of divine equanimity or sacred balance. And I'm hearing that the grace of love in the mother is always about the feeding, nurturing, sustaining, sustenance. We need to build that feeling of worth in our own being, that we're worthy and deserving of receiving. Mm-hmm. And when that is built into us, then when the light arrives, it will always remain and sustain us.
The light's what makes you feel worthy.
Yeah.
When you're open up.
Yeah. The light of love.
Yeah.
The flowing energy, or what I call the liquid essence of love.
Yeah.
So, if you are okay with that, I'd like to offer that to you and to your...
Oh, absolutely. Share away, please. Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to tune in to your true heart essence. And what? Wow. Oh, you're an angelic messenger.
Something like that.
Yeah, well, angelus just means messenger.
Yeah.
And so, wow. To be in a physical, local vehicle as yours and to have so much power. And to have to try and scrunch it down into this little bag of bones, and
it's not easy.
It is so not easy. But now with breathing and opening up, because the breath is the life. And when a baby arrives and it's coming out, it better breathe or else. And breath is the spirit and life that we need to nurture. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to sing for the breath of your being and all beings. And if anyone who's tuning in is listening and hearing this, you can put your hand on your heart space, and just feel that energy rise. I call it the love of all that is, or omnipresence. And as you tune into that, we open up an aperture for the light to descend, what I like to call the supreme intelligence or omniscience, that which descends and comes into the heart and swirls around. So you've got these two counter-rotating fields converging in the heart. And in the center of that is the divine wisdom or omnipotence. And those three qualities merge together, and we experience a complete implosion or expansion of our being. So I offer that to you now through this sound medicine in honor of you, dear one.
Well, thank you, my dear. In honor of you as well.
Hey, hey, ooh. Ooh,
Beautiful. Powerful stuff. Good medicine. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Yeah. See what the old equity does now, you know. That's what it's all about. It's coming back. And we've been working on that consciously on this program in the last couple of weeks even. Like the balanced harmonics between the male and the female energies inside. In fact, we choose not to even see them as such any longer, just to let that concept go.
Yeah, dissolve and melt
Yeah.
into the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And inside of me, there's been this process where I can see the suppressed feminine very clearly. And, you know, there's just a little trick to open it up and getting it up in fullness when this other one seems so dominating. So, you know, but it's just like being in the space and just letting it happen. This is what I advocate for people all the time. Just lean back in your easy chair and close your eyes and receive. Just open up. Let it happen. That's all. You don't have to work for this one, baby.
No.
And if you do, you're working against yourself.
This is very, 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 very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's such a calming and balancing thing. I can feel the energy of that actively at work inside. So I do appreciate you sharing your precious gift there. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You bet. Hope I'm talking loud enough I can be heard.
Well,
I forget sometimes.
your eyes are just glowing. They're just like stars. It's really powerful to be in your presence, and it's a great honor for me to be here.
Well, it's an honor to have you here, and you know, I'm nothing really special. You know, I'm just somebody that got here ahead of time and had to open up a few doors and gates and kick a few rocks around and stuff, you know. I didn't mind doing it. I had a hell of a life. It was rougher than a cob, but it's been so blessed. It's been so blessed. I look at every moment of it, and I bless every moment of it. There's the secret to the whole ascension.
Absolutely.
Appreciation, babies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love is appreciation of what is.
Yep. That's the active energy in creation.
Absolutely. We're in such agreement here. What are we going to do now? My gosh. We've got nothing to talk about. We're so much in tune.
We're going to sit here and smooch for a while. What the hell?
We're just going to stare at one another. And there's going to be like dead silence. And we're like, is there anything going on?
Oh. If we sat here silent, I'm afraid we might melt the spaceship out. Radiant beams get pretty broad here, man. I tell you, we have some fun times there when people like you show up. It's always like, well, it's like singing in harmony. It's like every tune I play on the radio will be just exactly harmonious with. I mean, everything we do here is spontaneous anyway. It's just spur of the moment. Everything. I like it.
I do too.
And it shows people living in the flow, because that's what it is. Spontaneity is living in the flow. That's the access to the flow. If you allow yourself to be spontaneous from the heart, that's the access to the flow. And then you begin to know what the hell it is. A lot of people don't have a clue, you know. To us, it seems like, how the hell don't you know that?
It's so natural to me, but having to mentor or work with individuals who've spent so much time out of that stream of existence.
Yeah.
You know, and like they're putting one little toe in, and then they're putting, a foot in, and then they're doing what they're doing, and then they get in, and then they hold on to the edge of the bank, and I'm saying, well, now you have to swim out into the swift current where you left. And they're like, huh? But that's like, really? And then it's like, that's the toughest point in the whole game, is swimming back out where you left.
Yep.
And then letting that current carry you.
Yep.
And that's the part where you feel like you're dying, and you feel like your life is over, and your identity is crisis, and on and on and on it goes. And it's getting so much easier for all of us to not have to go through that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the concept of peeling the onion in layer by layer, which is a beautiful concept. But to me, it's not true. It just doesn't feel like that is the reality of my existence. It feels more like a melting and dissolving of anything that is needed to be released, needing to be liberated.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do something, I'm working on this and I'm doing that and I'm doing that. Well, all that doing is doo-doo, and it gets pretty...
Yeah, and doo-doo's fertilizer.
Yeah.
You gotta let it compost first.
Yeah, exactly. This is pretty smelly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But beautiful blossoms come from that.
This is true. This is true.
So we just remember that when we're going through the bullshit, that we're just creating fertilizer for our future. We're releasing the bullshit. Yeah.
And stories are fun. They're chapters.
Oh, you bet.
You know what? And, oh gosh, we catch ourselves sometimes in those stories.
Yeah.
And they seem so awfully real. They just seem so like, oh my gosh, this and that. And if we didn't even speak of it at all, if we felt it come up, and it's there, but we didn't speak it, we wouldn't energize it. If we saw it, if we sat with it and listened, and then let it dissolve, it doesn't have to be that real anymore.
Yeah, the story, the one that held you there, yeah. The trauma, the trauma mama.
Trauma mama drama.
Yeah, oh God. It's like, I mean, you know, even me, we have, you know, you get used to that stuff. And that's your active thing, you know, in this life. But, you know, you will never resolve anything in that drama, not ever. It's just play acting. It's just working it out in a very difficult way. The reality, again, is at the heart level, and that's where the real discussion is.
I
the
agree.
drama is nothing. You know, it really, I mean, it's beautiful and poetic, and we've done a great job acting in it.
Right.
And now it's time to take off the pain and the costumes, and let's go party at Joe's place. You know, it's time for the after party now, babies. We get to be who we are. We get to open up and be the real angelic beings, because there's not a human presence that isn't angelic. Every one of us are at least an archangel or higher, because you got to be that to be human, because nobody else can stand it here. What do you think these ETs are doing? They're hiding out in the skies and stuff because they're scared to death of it. You know, the energy here is off the charts. You've got to be very, very qualified to be here and be a human being, be an inept, bumbling human being, as we have been. You know, and to see yourself as that. I describe it a lot of times like leaving your luggage at home and going for a really long vacation. You didn't bring anything with you, baby. None of your gifts, nothing. I mean, that's what happened to most of us here. You're different. But most of us here come in and have to go to zero and find our way back out of it again. It's not been an easy journey.
I know.
And so you've got to be angelic. I mean, and you got to think about these beings that have played the darker roles here. You know.
Oh my gosh, the volunteering for that! Wow.
Yeah, and these are some of the strongest souls, because only the strongest could endure that. So I tell people, watch your Illuminati. These will become divine angels. These will become some of the most generous presences on the earth. No one's immune from this. Everybody lives in the heart. I don't care if you're a clone.
We're all invited. Everyone is invited.
You betcha.
Yes.
No matter what you are, if you're human, you're coming. You know, and like it or not, here it is. You know, and of course we all love it, or it wouldn't be happening.
Well, one of the things that I like to say is, make as many maps for your journey, and when the time comes, throw them all away.
Yeah. Yep. Just get rid of them, man, because the journey is already there, and you just follow the flow.
Right.
You know.
And you get to the place where I call the gateway of no reply, and you have all your books and all your learning and everything you've ever quote accomplished that makes you special and unique and amazing. And you get to that gateway of no reply, and then you have to just drop it all. Yeah. You strip down to your naked core essence, and only then will that gateway open. Yep. And then it's just through the heart all the way. Yep. That's it.
It's unfortunate that many people accepted and swallowed that stuff, that was some kind of identity that you could identify with and be. I never believed that. It just didn't look right to me. You know? Did it to you? No. Not at all.
I accept all where they are in their life, on their path. But for
yeah,
me,
but
it's not done needing to be something special or to be qualified. And even if I say I'm this or that, I mean, that's just the local self. The non-local, multi-dimensions, all me being in all different dimensions.
We all are special
Yeah.
in our own right.
Yeah.
We really are. Each and every one of us is such a unique creation, such a work of art, and such a specialist in this life, that this life is not the same when we leave it. It's a big injury to humanity in the past when sacred souls have come and shared of themselves and then they leave. It's a hard thing for people to accept.
Yeah.
But they don't really leave, and this is the thing we're doing as we unravel this mystery. We start to see what's really here, and we're still actually and honestly right back where we started from. We're not gone anywhere. This is all a projection. This is how we can go back through time and unravel things. Because it is a projection, we can change it.
We can.
We can go to the film and edit it, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're on the same...
we have.
Yeah.
And that's why we're reaching ascension in this time frame rather than in some other place where it wouldn't work right. We found it.
Yeah. It's the embodiment. It's not rising up and leaving. It's actually going deeper in the expression and the experience without losing the fullness or the effulgent heart.
Finding the identity of who you really are, your heart, and identifying with it, seeing that is you. That heart has always been you, and that everything you've done has been a movement of that heart, no matter what it was. Baby, it shakes the old drama right out of the tree and puts it on the ground where the bears can eat it and make shit out of it, I tell you. But it makes it so fun, too. And it makes it such a worthy journey. Because when you start to see that, when you see that all that book learning and all that specialty you got on that side of it was just a compensation for a lack that you felt. This is coming from a powerless place. When you are without power, then you need all of those things to build yourself up and to become something. But after you've done all of that, let's say you went to the pinnacles and you achieved the maximum in your area of expertise, and it's dryness in your mouth, it's coldness in your heart, it's empty. Even though you can celebrate and party with your friends and act like it's really a big deal, in your soul you're empty. There's nothing there. Well, all that's telling you is that wasn't it, was it?
No.
So you go back in your heart and you find out who's really there, and wow, then it's all this precious. Then you just all of a sudden you appreciate it. All of a sudden you can let all that go. I mean, you can use that much that's worthy of you and just let the rest of it go. You don't need it. You never did. Most of what they teach us here in schools and universities is hogwash. Total frickin' hogwash. Illusion extraordinary. Deception beyond belief. Lies and illusions. Oh, and craftily assembled ones, too. Very intelligent.
Yes.
Very extreme.
Yes.
They're just bullshit.
But the weaving of the illusion is so powerful for so many. It's hard to leave that construct.
Oh, I've got great sentiment. I do. I mean, I've learned a lot there. I don't know if I want to let it go, but of course I do. I'm done. done. Enough. But a lot of people, I understand why they don't want to move. But that's just because they ain't quite seen it yet. Because the minute, it's just like dying. Dying, you're scared to death. You're scared to death until you get there.
Yeah.
And then it's the most peaceful and beautiful and poetic moment that you've lived for. Yeah. I mean, it's all the love you ever wanted in this life and then some. Instantly, there with you. Yeah. You've just melted all away the illusion, you see. And if you're blessed enough like you to come back from that, you bring that with you when you come back. You bring that energy, that truth. And then you're more able to share it with others. That's why we have so many near-death moments, so that we can remember what's really going on in the realms here and what's really happening in this life, so we can see past it, and then as you do, open the doorway for everyone else, pull back the veil, saying, look, that's not it, this is, you see. And when you see that, it's the same as if that moment when you die. and all of a sudden you're relieved and you feel all that love. This is the same moment, only instead of leaving the body, you bring all of that into your body. All of that joyous love, all of that greatest protection, everything that you've ever needed, known, wanted, or lived for is right there in that moment. I tell my dying friends now, and I tell people that have friends die, okay, you're moving up to that death moment. You see the angels coming, and the veils start to thin, and the angels and the ancestors are coming for you. Instead of checking out and going there, this time, just look at them and say, hey guys, why don't we come on over here and party? Come on, dive in and let's do something, you know, let's bring all that. And you know what? It will reverse the death process.
Yes.
We're done with it.
I know, it's an illusion.
Yeah. We stay home. We're going home, we're going to stay home. It's the mothership, which is the huger Mother Earth, which is about 100 times the size of this one. This is a little tiny projection. They showed it to me the other day. Like, here's this mothership sitting up here, and she's huge. I don't mean, there's no way to describe it. Just huge, great big old huge sphere. And out of her comes these triangular beams, and right there in the midst where they focus together, that's the Earth environment where we live. And all of the ETs and everything else that goes with it. It's all a frickin' card game. It's all a shell game. It's all a big illusion, man. This is a hell of a great movie. Cecil B. DeMille would be really proud. So would Robert Altman. All those old directors.
Yeah, good directors.
Right, yeah, wasn't Francis Ford Coppola, man. Shoot. I got to get some Francis Ford wine now. I said his name, I have to. But it's a hell of a great movie. And, you know, we get to watch it again and again if we want to. Me, I'm kind of bored with it. But then again, there's so much sentiment here. I might come back and go to the movie every now and then. Just so I can remember what happened, and I don't have to go back and do it again.
Yeah, but you didn't have to come here. You chose to come here.
That's true. That's true. The only way they got me here, actually, in this lifetime was by promising me that no one would get left. That, you know, because we screwed up before. I'd been here before, and we tried before, and came pretty close, but it just never happened. And so I had all of that experience behind me as a soul presence. And they're asking me to come and finish it, and I'm looking at them, and I'm saying, you sons of bitches. Of course, I say it lightheartedly. But what I mean by that is I am not going back and repeating what I've done before. I've done that. And I'm not going to do it again. Yeah. Enough. Now, if you assure me that everybody goes and we don't have to leave anybody out, then I'll do it. But if it's going to be one of those little cosmic things where somebody gets stuck behind, guess what? One person gets stuck behind, nobody leaves. Everybody's here. You know, it doesn't work, in other words. And then, you know, the old forces knew that, and they worked against us that way, because if they could hold one presence away from us, then they had it. You know, they still had their game. Yeah. And so that was the situation I faced before. I mean, of course, I realized this all in later years in my life. You know, I didn't know. I mean, I remembered some of it when I was a kid, but not a whole lot. You know, enough to get me through. That's about it. You know, I went through a real dark time in my younger days. I had to, you know, because I had to finish some energies that I'd set loose before a few hundred years ago. So that was another part of the plan. But whatever. But that's how they got me back here. You know, showing me a complete ascension, and that's the only way I do it. And still, people don't understand. They still think in terms of division. They say, well, this group of people over here are ready, and they're going to stay in 3D while the rest of us go to set. No.
All are welcome. All are invited.
Yeah. And all are coming.
And all are coming. Yeah. And all sentient life and all power of presence is welcomed. Yep. It's a homecoming. It's a welcoming for all. Yeah. And
it's begun this week. It really has. I mean, it's begun before, but it's begun this week. It really has, and it's in full swing now. I don't think we have long now before we get to finish the path. I could be wrong, you know, and I've been wrong before, but I don't think I am this time. I feel it. I see it happening. And when I see assemblages of souls such as yourself coming here, I know it's getting much closer. I know it is. The family doesn't get together until it's time for the final act. That's just how we behave. When I say the family, I'm talking about the work crew that is the same ones that have been here throughout history.
Transition team.
Yep.
Planet Earth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't even know who each other are, particularly, yet we do. You know, and we are the crew. And, you know, I'm willing to admit that now. There's a long time I wouldn't even talk about it. You know, I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't want to be anything special. I just trying to fit in. What a waste. There's no way you can fit this.
Yes. How does a causal being hide? Well,
that's where the mountains come in handy. But even there you can't hide because there's angels there and they'll just roust your ass out of there.
Oh, it's a real blessing to be with you.
Oh, likewise, darling. Oh, it's like homecoming. It's like you say. It's family reunion time, babies. We're all coming back to life, you know. Each and every one of us, no matter who we are, where we're at, what station of life, we're starting to realize our real humanity, which is something far greater than you've been told that it is.
Well, if we look at the origins of the word of human, the hu sound, which is bringing into form.
Color.
Yes, all of that. And the man is the mana, or the presence. So the sound of presence that forms the causal body. And I'm here to bring the oversoul. And the oversoul is the origination imprint of all creation. Mm-hmm. Just as you are, I'm sure you completely, there's nothing that I'm saying that you don't already completely vibe with and agree with. It's like, geez, we agree with one another. I don't know why we're still even here talking to one another.
But other people got to hear it.
I know. Yeah. You guys got to hear it. Okay.
Maybe they don't. No. Yeah. A lot of my listeners are pretty enlightened, I tell you, and they're getting there quick too. Those that have been, they're just catching it. It's amazing. I had a gentleman here the other day. He just woke up maybe like 6 months ago. You'd swear he'd been on the path for 40 years. You know.
Wow.
Just a bright one. You know. Ken, he'll be back here again Sunday. You guys will get a chance to meet him. In fact, Sunday they're doing a book signing at the Shumei Institute up here, the auditorium there. Carrie Ellis has written this book, 21st Century Superhumans, Quantum Lifestyle. Her and Ken, the young guy I was just mentioning, are coming there to give a little workshop and a book signing. So that ought to be fun. Yeah, we'll get them back on the radio again. We had a lot of fun with them too.
Awesome, awesome.
But it's more family. But this one, 6 months. Bam! And he's like moving energies around and making fans move and just doing all kinds of stuff, you know. That I mean, he's still, to him, it's still like, you know, he's new. And so it's like getting a new toy or something. Yeah. He's having a great time with it, you know. Yeah, it's not bad. It's beautiful.
It's fun. It's fun to see that.
Appreciate it. Yeah. The youthful exuberance. I hadn't been around that for a while. It's kind of neat, really. I kind of lost mine. Yeah, right. I never lost it. I never lost anything, man. Got it all. You know, brought it all with me too.
So what should we intend? Let's do something. Let's do something for.
Well, let's make a unified field here in Crestone for starters.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because we've been working on that one for a while, and there's so much abject humor here.
Oh, yes, the beauty.
Yeah, I tell you, it is humor. It is, because everybody takes it so damn seriously, thinks it's so real, and it isn't. You know, all these little petty arguments everybody's having over whether they can, you know, take federal grants and give gifts to their cousins. I mean, what the hell? Who cares? Get out of here.
Well, all I know is from what I've heard or been listening to in my lovely little 11-day journey here so far, is the bandwidth was opened very wide, and it's slowly been narrowing to a very thin bandwidth. And when the bandwidths touch, which is happening as we speak, all of the quote-unquote ascended beings will assemble. And it's like a council.
That's what I see happening.
And when we meet and find one another and vibrate together, like you and I, and thank my beautiful friend in Boulder who pointed me to you and to that other lovely woman, and we made contact, and it was just instant, absolute instant recognition. And this is what I like to do when I'm, quote unquote, doing something. But what I like to offer to each being is to say, I recognize you. I see you.
Cool.
And when that happens, in that recognition, in the vision of the seeing of their being, they immediately go down into they immediately descend into their heart, immediately ascend into their being.
Yeah.
And that alone, just to be able to be seen.
Yeah.
When so many beings are coming to terms with their sense of being invisible or being hidden, lost.
Yeah.
And it's not very long left, really, for all of us to come to that recognition within ourselves.
Absolutely.
So when I say that, it's like saying Namaste. It's like saying, I honor the divine in you. That is the divinity within my own being.
Absolutely.
And
you
that,
couldn't see it if you weren't it. You know what I mean?
it's seeing all the other stuff too, like you, me, and you.
Oh yeah.
You know, and once that all kind of dissolves, as we were talking about the drama, the trauma.
Oh, yeah. We wear that like a colored picture in our auric field. We wear it, but what I see it happening as we do this so-called ascension is it just all becomes rainbows.
Yeah.
Yeah, just rainbows. Because
Rainbow
our
body.
essence is golden light. Our energy is the rainbow. You know?
Oh, yes, I was going to say that. You got it too, quicker than I could. The golden light, the golden essence.
Yeah, exactly.
So you hear that high-pitched sound? Woo! It's coming in strong.
Well, you know, there are so many of those around. I am in tune with higher frequencies always. So something that's higher frequency in this world, I probably ain't even going to hear it because I'm already hearing it.
You're already hearing it. Well, it came in like a huge, powerful transmission just when you said that.
Wow.
Very strongly. It was just like a very
Lots of
clear.
neat things happen in this old spaceship, love. I've had people here before, and they can see the energies moving. You know, I don't. I just sit here and do it. You know, but they see it. They see the energies and stuff. So it's always fun to have a little verification. Always fun that they give us a little validation like that.
Every now and then, not too much, because
they want us to get a big head.
Come down here. Come down here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
So we're going to do a unified field here in Crestone, and we do that already.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just let's just let it happen. The blessings of love are intended to be created from certain geographical places in this earth reality. Let this be one of them, because it is, and let it happen. That's just all we got to do, man. Enough is enough. Mm-hmm. Enough pussyfooting around. Enough talking about it. I mean, you know, I never seen a time when there was so much out there about it. And I mean, and most of it's, you know, 50-50, but there really is some right-on stuff, too. And I've never seen so much of it. It's really happening. People are catching on. Mm-hmm. I felt like stranger in a strange land, lone wolf in coyote country forever, you know. But not anymore. Not for the last few years I haven't, but especially this last year. And especially now, this summer. It's really been coming together, you know.
I agree.
I mean, I've been through some wild moments this summer.
Oh.
Working my way through it, but oh my God, you know, you got to go through the storm in order to, you know that you can survive it and thrive. You know, I don't know. I just like to challenge myself. I guess I don't know what it is, or I know what it is exactly. It's working out old things, just taking care of business. Oh. Finishing the trail with a few other souls, things like that. You know?
Old details.
Yep.
It's interesting because I'm meeting every aspect of my being in each person. So there isn't a moment where, oh, this is me. Yeah. This is all.
Yeah, this is all of us.
This is all of us. So having this conversation with you is just perfect.
Yeah, and it's so damn beautiful. It's like, and you know, you're like radiating like the son of a gun. You know? You've spread out about 10 times, in our field since you came in here. It's just awesome, because this is what love does, guys. It expands you. You feel it? I know you do out there. Even though we recorded this earlier, the recording carries the energy. Mm-hmm. And every time you listen to it on YouTube or wherever, you're going to get more. More and more and more. It's just there.
Yeah. And that's why there's the metaphor for the rose or the lotus, is that the petal upon petal upon petal, just completely opening. And it's never ending. It's eternity.
Yeah.
And it's always ever present in our own heart being, and not just this physical heart, which is beautiful, because they call it the 7-layered liquid crystal oscillator. That's what it is.
I don't know if I've heard that one before.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the liquid crystal is blood is made up of iron, but liquid crystal, when it is spun with coherent feeling, and the heart radiates a field, and in your average field maybe just a few feet, but when it's expanded in coherent harmonic love, it just expands and expands and expands. I mean, you see these on YouTube, the heart math or the heart attuning or torsion fields or the toroidal field, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
But when the blood is spun through a heart that is awakened in the golden essence of grace or love, what happens to that in that spinning is the DNA opens up. And that's what my DVD is about, opening the libraries of liberation.
Cool.
The 90% dormant codes that are stored in the sacred language of the DNA.
I hope you can see that well enough. There's a copy of it right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Highly advise everyone that feels the call to get one, man. That's got to be. I haven't had a chance. Obviously, the draft is still on.
That's okay. You're already there, babe. You don't. I mean, this is just like it's beautiful, and deeply appreciated. Offering it to you, but you're already living it.
Yeah.
So when the DNA opens in what I call the library of liberation, when it reveals itself in the purified essence, it's an information highway, and it's filled with all the sacred codes. They call it the codons, and when those codon chains line up, and we experience full exhilaration, when we are in the effulgent nature or the radiant nature of the heart, what sometimes we see in sacred teachers who come here, but it's available to all of us.
Yeah.
And it is cultivated in the loving presence.
Yeah.
When we embrace everything, we don't push it away. We don't try to cut it off. We don't try to separate ourselves from it. The idea of like decording and cutting things off and like getting rid of them. Hello, this universe is one big recycling bin. Where the hell do you think it's going to go? It's a part of you. It's been created. It's all divine. It doesn't disappear. Where does it go? Oh, Uncle Joe's taking it off somewhere, huh? He's got it in his bag over there. That part of you don't like. No. It's totally the opposite. It's actually in the opposite direction. It's through the loving embrace, the acceptance of what is.
Yeah.
If that's an unevolved aspect of self, it's beautiful. It's like when you see a little baby on the ground and it's throwing something and it's like having a temper tantrum. I mean, if in an ideal parental state, you don't go and scold it. You just like sit there, patient, let it go through its process, and then lovingly embrace it if it needs to be embraced.
Yep.
And love is patient. Mm-hmm. Love is compassionate. Love is wise. It sees.
Look at human history. Talk about patience.
No kidding. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the more kind and gentle you can be, the more that the wise, innocent being, the sage of all sages, will come and reveal itself. And that messenger will come to you in the silent stillness, radiant space of being. And it will speak, and it will speak in gentle, quiet ways that will be so uplifting and bring you into such a place of presence in the present. And it's like the moment that I first saw the sun setting in Crestone and watching those mountains turn blood red, and the feeling that rose up in me was like, I'm home.
That really is the blood of Christ on those mountains. It's red gold. It's the blood of Christ. It has to be. Those guys knew what they were talking about.
Yeah. Right. And
they found their city of gold, but didn't even recognize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the golden essence is what was so powerful. And for me, in this moment, right here, right now, I need to acknowledge and recognize the divinity of the presence who I am here with right now.
And I acknowledge that as well within yourself. You betcha. And beautifully so, too. Absolutely. Presence of love, babies, is a righteous thing, no matter how or where or when it chooses to express itself. And we are the epitome of those expressions.
And let me tell you, the ones that are doing the quote-unquote most heinous acts, the ones that are perpetrating those behind-the-scenes acts, the ones that are, creating all the media that may or may not be true, all of them need it more than anyone else.
They've got it more than anyone else. They just don't
know it
yet. But we're working on it. Well, no, some of them are catching on. I have hit a few of them this past couple of weeks. When I say I very loosely, I've seen them open. Yeah. Is what I mean. I've seen this happen. And so we're hitting certain key. So you got to understand, because of the darkness of the days that I went through in my childhood, and other experiences well before this in other lifetimes as a soul presence, I am entitled to access to all of their whatever it is they do. I'm like overlord. I have that ability. They have to recognize me and accept it. And they do at this heart level, and that's all I need. I don't got to go to anywhere and prove that I'm anything. I don't have to go shake my stick and knock down walls or anything like that. I do it anyway, but I do it from a distance. I do it actually because they got to come to me, and they will. When the time's right, and it's pretty close. But not anything, not any dramatic thing, not any great big apology, none of that crap. No. They come to me because they need liberation, and I set them finally free. Whatever they can't do by themselves, I'll help them with, but mostly they can do it. Mm-hmm. They just don't know it. They're scared to death right now. They're walking on such thin ice. That's why they're putting troops in the cities and shit. They're trying to, the last-ditch efforts. It's like, guys, that ain't going to accomplish anything. It doesn't even scare people anymore. They think you're stupid. What's our stupid government up to now? It always is. You're dumber than toast, and everybody knows it. You couldn't scare a kitty cat right now walking down the street. I'm sorry, but you're just laying, baby. You lost it. It's time to let it go, baby. Just let that old act go. The government is done. Close the doors. Let's get done with it. Federal especially. Let's start right there. Every federal, not just this one. U.S. is just Babylon, man. We're just Rome. We're the repeat of Babylon. We're the old Roman Empire. We never went away, man. We are the Roman Empire. Don't you get that? We never went anywhere. It's the same now as it was in Christ's time. Oh, yeah, we got cars. We got planes, boats, and trains. Whoopee. We act the same. The same people are in power. The same energies are trying to control it. Gee whiz, guys. I mean, come on.
Didn't we finish with that script a while ago?
I tell you, if we didn't, it's going in the trash can now, I'll tell you. Oh. We need some new writers, baby. We're getting them, too.
They're here.
Yep, absolutely.
They are here. They are.
Oh, enough is enough is enough is enough, babies. But that's how we change it. You guys put it into your heart. You guys get it in you. And ladies, they get it in them, too, because we're all one. We're not separate. Each light that comes on is another light that contributes to the whole and brings a whole bunch more in. It's happening.
Well, we're all abiding in the same field of presence.
Yep.
It's all there, and it's all available to each and every one of us because we are all in that same radiant presence, whether we know it or not. And sometimes it's taking off the blinders, sometimes it's adjusting the lenses. Perception, of course, is, that's just a game. Once we let that go, and we don't need to see it to believe it, when we really, truly cultivate that within, it comes, and it's there.
Yep.
And it's amazing to witness the unfolding of that.
Yeah.
That is just the gift of being here in this dimension at this time for me.
Yeah.
In this quote unquote individuated little spark here, and that is such a blessing to experience that. And
same. I feel the same exact way. I really do. I mean, I feel so blessed to be alive at this time and to see it actually finally happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that, yet it does. That's just where we start, but oh my God.
Yes.
After
And,
all
you know, and it's so funny because people are like, oh, finally it's done. I'm like, no.
This is where it starts.
You're like, what? You mean I just arrived? Like, yeah.
Yeah. This is the station, baby. Now you gotta get off the train and go to work.
I know. What happens next?
Ooh.
Everything.
Yeah. Oh, this gets fun now, guys. Oh my God. I hesitate to describe any of it. I've seen indications, but I'm not gonna own any of it. I'm gonna let it be what it is, you know. I just know it's phenomenal. It's off charts. It's more fun than the Barrel Monkeys. It's more orgasmic than anything we've ever lived before.
Yes. This, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And this whole process of seeding consciousness, you know, well, we had to kind of weed a little bit, and well, weeds are all perfect, but we cultivated, prepared the soil, seeding the consciousness, and now.
Yeah.
Now it's not even just rising up. It's harvest time.
Yeah, it's harvest time.
Yeah.
Seeds sprouted, the blossoms are here, baby.
Yeah.
You know, it's time.
Fruiting and seeding and you name it, all those metaphors. It's all, yeah. And
time to party, baby.
the descending of the new tree of life, all the old archetypes are dying off and releasing.
Thank God.
Isn't that? Oh gosh, I was getting so tired of those archetypes.
Pompous dickheads, man.
Yeah. Enough of that hierarchy.
You betcha. Oh my God. Oh, it's the worst thing to ever happen. No, it ain't either, man. Shoot, we're all right. We live to tell about it. We did just fine with it, really, guys. Guys, when you start to look back, just like I'm looking back on my tawdry little life, and I've got peace about it, and I love every minute of it, because I'm not living all that hard shit anymore. I'm still living on the edge, but I'm not living like I did, let me tell you. You ain't either. We all, you know, catching on. And we can have the same attitude when we get to that beginning point, which is ascension. We can look back and say, wow. Thank God we're through that, but you appreciate it now on this side of it, you know. Yeah. We just had to get through it.
And you know, sometimes the experience of ascension or the symptoms that we go through, it can sometimes be a little discombobulating, you know, to go through that. But it's getting so much easier because the field is so much more seeded and prepared, and it's a simpler process. There isn't the same level of complexity, and there isn't the whole kind of biblical religiosity around it. It's yeah, I know. And so I hit a real harsh nerve.
I see a lot of New Age people turning it into a religion. Dogma has become really big in the New Age religion, and unfortunately, it did become a religion, but it's breaking loose now. It's okay. I can let go of my prejudices. Can you let go of yours? No, but really it did. The dogma was starting to... That's why I went to Boulder. That's why they put me in Boulder like 18 years ago, I think it was. Something like that. And those people needed some straightening out, so I was there to give it to them, you know. But I did it real softly. I just showed them. I didn't preach to anybody. I just showed them. Yeah. You know, I just let them see it, you know, and that's all.
Well, you have to be the living example.
Yeah, that's if you're going to teach, that's what you teach. It's
the living, breathing being. Yeah. And I always say to anyone who, you know, happens to be in my presence, don't get attached to me. You know, you want me to be your teacher? No, you have that within yourself. Yeah. If you try to get attached to me and want me to be your teacher and guru, I'm going to kick you to the curb. Yeah. Because this is not about control or overwhelm. This is about embodiment, and it's about empowerment. We see what happens to gurus. It always goes to their head, and they wind up, you know, having a great big old harem, and they wind up with, you know, too much power and too much money, and they forget everything else. They lose it, man. They don't help anybody except themselves, and they don't even help themselves that way, you know. That's been the old path, babies, you know. Do you really want to give your power up? Like, nobody does. Not now. Nobody's that dumb, are they? I don't think so, you know. Well, if they are, and they happen to have come through that path with a guru, the guru path or guru devotee is all about discernment. Well, it's learning about yourself. Exactly. If you're putting somebody up there, it's because you don't see it in yourself yet, and you want to. Yeah. Desperately. Yeah. So it's not a bad thing. No, it's a stepping stone. it's a part of the path. But if anything in your life, if your power is contingent upon anything external outside of yourself being a certain way, look out, you're in trouble.
Yep. And that includes relationships too, baby. You got to think about that. You got to think about that. You got to think about what you've done and how restrictive you've been with that partner of yours, or those partners of yours, as the case may be, and how restrictive they've been. You got to think about how stupid that whole situation was. For all of the romance, there was nothing there. It was dumb. It was lame. And it restricted you, and it enslaved you, and made you miserable in the end. Miserable enough that you had to get out of it again, you know, and find something different. We can't live that way anymore. We're done with it. Understand that. We're finished with that way of living.
Right.
It doesn't work. Look at all the murders. Look at all the insanity, the assaults, all of the family courts in motion right now, etc., because of our attempt to make something work that doesn't. You know? Wow. We just didn't see anything else. We didn't see any other possibilities. Until the hippies came along and started opening things up, and then we said, oh my God, not those possibilities. And no, darlings, as our heart opens and we awaken, we're already so closely associated with one another that intimacy seems unnatural, at least as we know it now. This doesn't mean you ain't going to share, and share plenty, because that's the creative act, but it becomes much different than anything we've ever. That has been empty. That has been couples clinging and clawing at one another, trying to get something from one another that they could only get a little bit of. Where do you think all the insanity in this earth came from? That moment where you can't get it. It doesn't happen. You get a lot, but you get nothing.
So for me, in my path, with my beloved, it's a devotional experience.
Yeah.
And that devotional experience is for the ascension of my awakened presence and the honoring of who he is. It's not always perfect.
Oh,
we have our moments of friction, but we always come back to that devotional space.
And you're very rare people, but you're setting the example.
Hopefully. I don't know. I mean, a few hours ago, it may not have seemed that way. We were a little on a rocky train for a few minutes there.
Happens, but, you know, it's because the old paradigm's falling apart, and we're all feeling the stress of that.
Yeah.
I talked to a lady this morning, so beautiful. She's one of my regular listeners in the morning. She's been through a lot in her life, and she's been married and divorced a few times. Everybody in that huge extended family has made this agreement that that's only going to be love. And all of those exes and wives and husbands and children, they got to spread out. And this one big unit they've managed to really accomplish that.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Wow.
See, that's ascendancy right there. I mean, if that's happened already, if that's a working thing, well, we're already there. You know, there's not much more to go. Because if people can get to that level of understanding, well, guess what? We just move beyond all those ideas. We're sitting here mean-mouthing. I'm mean-mouthing right now anyway. You know, it's like we've already moved beyond it, you see. It doesn't mean you don't partner up or don't couple up. It just means it never happens as it has. You don't move into anything like that from a point of need or for security or for any other fear-based reason. It's
all devotional.
Exactly.
And when it's devotional, it's really powerful and profound.
Yeah.
And the depths of the experience I've had in my journey with him, I was born into a family where a mother and father were in a devotional relationship. When friends would come over, they'd look at our family and like, is this for real? Are you guys for real?
Disneyland.
Like mom and dad. And then it was the whole extended neighborhood. And kids would come and, hi, Mom, hi, Dad. A continual extension of the family.
Wow.
In the 60s, we had people coming, black people coming from Barbados. We had guys coming from, it was like totally all ethnically, totally diverse.
Wow.
And, there would be parties at our house, and every race, religion in that space. I just didn't realize, and until I, attended school and got older, that this is not the way most people experience family. It's not like that.
No.
And to grow up in a family with a mother and father who are completely devotional to one another.
Wow.
is so rare. I didn't know how rare it was.
Oh, very, yeah.
You know, and when my beloved met my mom and dad, he was like, oh my God, a real mother and a real father. It's possible. Because he grew up in a pretty dysfunctional family. So again, for me, there's something about that imprint for me in my life growing up and being in that extended family that is spread out in my journey when I connect to my earth mother and my earth father, my birth parents.
Yeah.
There is such a deep devotional love I have for them.
Yeah.
And the recognition and the expression that they gave to me is extraordinary. And I mean, I went through some pretty intense stuff in my journey. You know, like the feelings of breaking down and breaking apart and you know, nervous system overloads and the experiences, and they were right by my side all the way. It was just, I can't even put into words how...
What a blessing. Oh. Jesus.
Yeah, and my older sister now is with our son, and he's 20, and they are in the extended family there, and we all live together.
Wow, how cool.
The youngest and the oldest in the house.
Wow.
And you know, when my mother died, all of my family looked to me for the support because they knew about my near-death experiences. So I helped to plan my sister's funeral, my mother's funeral, and my father's, and they all looked to me like some kind of quote-unquote leader. Not that I was trying to be a leader in any sense of the way, but that it would normally not fall on the youngest in the family, where they would turn to me for that. And to me, that was a sign of the blessedness of the union of my mother and father, and bringing, and you know, getting to 7 kids would be enough, but the 8th, to bring it along, an 8th child into this world, and no, they're not Catholic. They just love children, and they loved each other. Yeah. And not only that, but to adopt more children, to extend that out into a community. Wow. So I know it's an unusual story, folks, but it really is true.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So maybe there always was archetypes of devotional relationships on this planet. A few.
Oh, there had to be. You know, that's the only way we got through. There's these little moments of love, the honest, real love that have happened in history. That's what got us through. I've been told and shown by angels that, you know, one little loving moment between a man and woman, or 2 people, doesn't have to be a man and woman, but between 2 people, one loving moment, one little moment like that, where the connections are real and everything, good for 100,000 years.
Or more.
Or more
of
the whole of humanity.
Yeah.
That supports all of humanity.
Yeah, I agree.
Good for 100,000 just from one little moment of love. That's how we got to where we are now, because most of us weren't like that.
No.
At all.
I grew up in the process of loving kindness, and it's always been expressed. And my grandmother said, if you don't have anything good to say about someone, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
And not that, you know, complaining or anything like that didn't happen in our household, or we didn't have arguments or fights or everything like that. Of course, it was always there, but it was always brought back into that loving presence. And growing up in that kind of environment, and living that presence and having that support has allowed me to be who I am and to offer that to so many. And being able to commune with my parents and the sibling that died. I have direct communication with them all the time.
Cool.
So the veil doesn't even exist for me.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to speak to my father, I speak to my father.
Cool.
If I want to speak to my mother, I speak to my mother. If I want to speak to my departed sister, although I've heard that she's already reincarnated back onto the planet.
But she'll still talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's amazing how similar our paths are, except I didn't have such an idyllic family. They thought they were, but they weren't. I came from a big family, too, 12.
Wow.
I was number 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. The infinity symbol.
Yeah, it just goes round and round. 7's more my number, but 8 is my
7's my number, too.
Yeah, I was born on the 7th. So.
There you go. Wow.
That's 7.
And it's a 7 number in year, numerology.
Wow.
Yeah.
We might be cosmic twins, man.
Woohoo! Brother and sister from another mother.
Yeah, you betcha. The real mother.
The real mother.
Hello, mother. Oh, I love that. Remember that old song?
Yeah.
Hello,
mother. Hello, father.
I got that in here somewhere, man. I'll have to play it, though. I'll have to play it for him.
This has been so much fun.
Likewise, dear. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
You
you.
bet. It's just a blessing for the audience out here. To the audience. I'm sorry to call you audience. For the family out there.
Yes, thank you, family.
Yes, yeah.
Wherever you are, extended brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and cousins and aunts.
You
And
betcha.
yeah, thank
We love
you.
you sincerely. Of course, you feel it. And you
Yeah.
know what's happening, too, babies. And we appreciate you being here participating. And it wouldn't happen without you. It just wouldn't. You know.
And I just want to say an absolute thanks and blessing to my beloved, Gaspar,
Yeah.
who has been my gatekeeper through 22 years of the
Far
most
out.
blessed experience. My beloved son, Elysium,
Far out.
who I adore.
Far out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And I know that's not a plug to them, because who knows what it means in the whole scheme of things. But more than anything, thank you, Grandpa, for creating this and letting me come here. Why are you telling me?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I like to be shy sometimes, but yeah, it's you're more than welcome, and I'm more blessed than ever, and all of us, of the family too, blessed to have you here, and welcome home.
Keep trucking, oh,